Alright, hello YouTube. This is May 23rd, 2013, and it's 100 degrees outside here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. And I want to show you guys my garden. Let's do a shot from back here first. I built this chicken coop looking thing to protect my garden from birds, from the sun. As you can see, I built it out of like stucco wire so nothing can get through and damage the tomatoes. And then I got this burlap tarp right here. This is what helps the plants not get fried by the sun. Alright, let's go in here now. And this is my tomato garden right here, as you can see. I built an in-ground garden. I added to the soil. The soil is real clay-like here in Arizona. And I added to the soil, I added compost, I added azomite, blood meal, bone meal, kelp meal, gypsum, and rabbit manure, horse manure, chicken manure. And so let me show you what I got going on here as far as the garden goes. As you can see, it's pretty big and it's getting plenty of light even though the tarp is on top of it. So this is my beefsteak tomatoes. I kind of started a little bit late this year. I should have started right after the frost. I started about 3 weeks after the frost from seedlings because it didn't go too well with the seedlings. My seedlings were growing really spindly and skinny, and they were dying out, so by the third time I got it right. Anyways, these are my beefsteak tomatoes. As you can see, they're growing in. More right here, you can see, and back here as well. And let me show you guys, these are my cherry sweet 100s. Look at that. Awesome. Look at this, just a cluster of tomatoes coming off of this one plant alone. Got more right here. Now that's what a tomato garden should look like. You gotta have you a lot of tomatoes. I use these for salad. Every day I come out here, like grab a handful of tomatoes and I make myself a salad for work, for dinner, for lunch. These right here, these are Cherokee Purple. And it's the first year trying those. I'm not sure if I'm impressed with them yet. We'll see when they come out. They're supposed to turn like a dark purple. I heard they're delicious. And as you can see, my garden still is very luscious and green, even though it's 100 degrees outside. We've hit 104 about last week. And they still are doing real good. The soil, as you can see, is still moist. And I added wood chips to keep moisture in the soil. These right here, these are jelly bean variety. I've already eaten a lot of these within the last few weeks. They've been ripening really well. As you can see right here, it's a cluster of tomatoes, and as you go up, there's just more and more and more tomatoes everywhere. I don't know if I'll be planting these again. Look how tall they grew. These things are giant. I'm gonna have to come up with a system to make them go across. Anyways, these right here, this is where I failed this year. These are the Better Bush variety, a container tomato. And what's going on with these is I should have planted them in a bigger container, and I didn't, and I regret it because the roots didn't spread enough, and it's just didn't do so good. I mean, they made tomatoes, they bloomed, made flowers. I had like 5 of them. But either way, I mean, it is what it is. I'll learn for next year. These ones right here I really like. This is cherry large fruit variety, and you can see just a lot of tomatoes. They're doing really good. I can't wait to taste these. These should be really sweet. I hear there's a bunch more in there. I don't know if you can see, but there is. These ones to the left of it, this is a Siberian pole red tomato. They're growing really well. They're more of a cold climate plant, but here in Arizona they seem to be doing really good. I just have a bunch of them growing everywhere in this cage, as you can see. And next to them, this is a Jubilee Yellow. I mean, they're starting to take off. These are the only ones I even have on this tomato plant. It took them a while to even show up. And they're going to be a big yellowish tomato. I heard they're really good. And the plant didn't do so well. I mean, it's got some flower buds, but it didn't impress me at all. I don't fancy it much. Now I got one of my favorites because it's a big, heavy producer. This is called Tomato Tumbler. And man, it's just doing great. Look at this, everywhere is tomato. There's some ripening at the bottom right here. And next to it is another tomato tumbler. And it's a hybrid. And yes, it is doing great. Really good. Look at that. Look at all these. These are all off the tumbler. I already ate half of these things in my salads already. Doing really, really well. And they got plenty of flowers still blooming. This one right here to the left of me is Siberian tomato, not a pulse. It's just Siberian. It's more of a cold climate plant as well. I really like this one a lot. It just produced a big cluster of tomatoes, and still producing, I've noticed. It's doing really well. And let's go over here. This right here is a Sun Gold. By far my favorite cherry tomato. Just love it. Look at that, just clusters of tomatoes. Tomatoes everywhere you look, just tomatoes on this thing. And these are delicious, they're really sweet. There's more back there, there's a bunch up here, and they just keep growing and growing just off of one little plant. It's doing really well. This is more of a Siberian brand tomato. Yeah, they do alright. This one, again, cherry. Some of my other favorites. As you can see, everything's got fruit on them, and the leaves are really, really healthy. I did have some tomato hornworm problems. I just come off and pick them off and let them do their thing. I mean, when I find them, I find them. And as you can see, this thing's just got a big amount of tomatoes. Look at that, all underneath. You're supposed to let the suckers grow on these because they're going to produce more fruit. First, I was ripping out the suckers. Didn't know any better. But you don't do that. I should have read the package a little bit better. This is another Cherokee Purple. These are more Sweet 100s over here. Look at that. Everywhere you look, we got tomatoes. Tomatoes and more tomatoes. As you can see. I made these tomato cages myself. For about 64 bucks, I have like 30 of them from Home Depot. I made them all myself. Pretty simple. And, yeah, this is my tomato cage. Get a few more shots of these tomatoes to show you guys that you can grow tomatoes here in Phoenix, Arizona. I got a wonderful shot down there. I don't know if I could get it. Look at that. A lot of them are ripening right now. And I just want to show you guys what I use to fertilize my tomatoes and where it comes from. I do compost tea, of course, but I also do manure tea, and what I use and seems to be doing real well here in Arizona is, well, let's check it out. It's that stuff right there. This is rabbit manure, and that's the guy who makes it. His name is Gizmo, right, Gizmo? He doesn't live here for free. He sure works for his living, and that's where I get all my fertilizer from. I make compost tea out of that, and I add azomite in it as well, and I water my plants. These are some more tomato plants here. This is a cherry Sun Gold variety. And let me show you some. Actually, these are Sweet 100. I'm sorry. Look at that, just a cluster of tomatoes. Isn't that awesome? Look at that, it's just beautiful. Look at that, wonderful. Everywhere you look, you're gonna see tomatoes in my garden. That's how it should be. These ones again are the cherry Sweet 100s, and they are just awesome. Look at that. Everywhere you look inside, you're gonna see tomatoes, more tomatoes, and more jelly bean variety right here. And that's about it. This is my tomato garden, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please write comments below. Thank you.